So tell me, you got a successful career as an attorney, and as you've often told me and my friends, you don't do criminal law,
That's right.
which, unfortunately, you've missed out on some business from us over the years. But when did this start coming back to you? And then what have you been doing lately that has brought this editorial work, this artistry back out?
Well, it's probably because you have introspective moments in your life where you think, okay, this is work. Work is work. There should be something else besides family on the weekends and whatnot. And what do you really enjoy doing? And that's something that I've always enjoyed doing is cartooning. And so from that standpoint, probably in 2000, I started two websites. skirealnews.com, which was an editorial and writing types of things. And then one of my friends who was very into technology taught me to go do a technological cyber culture type of website. And I have that cyberbarf.com. And there I do more technical type of cartoon humor, dealing with the foibles of technology and whatnot. And so after I started doing those, I decided, I might as well try to do this more. I joined the Association of American Editorial Cartoonists last year and went to their convention and met most of the top professional cartoonists in the field, including illustrators.
And where was that held?
That was in Columbus, Ohio, over the Labor Day weekend. And they were extremely supportive of somebody at amateur status or whatnot, because I've not made a living off of that like the other people have. But it's a very supportive community that's going through a lot of difficult times with all the layoffs and a lot of people now having to be their own business person instead of working for a company like Gannett or another chain or something like that.
Because you said it went from about 200 some down to, what did you say, 30?
About 30 full-time people. Now, there's still probably 200 to 300 people that are full-time working at it, syndicating through various syndicates to be picked up by papers here and there and whatnot. But it's very difficult for a lot of them to transition into becoming their own brand, so to speak, where they have to market themselves, they have to gather clients, and a lot of people just have never experienced that before. So in discussing that over that Labor Day weekend, I helped give them a little bit of insight, and they gave me a little bit of insight on the business side of it too.
I've gone through something that I'm working on as I've developed my paid professional speaking career and formed a group with people for similar reasons, is that it includes people who are already paid professional speakers and people who want to get there. And the value is we work with each other, sharing ideas, information, support, that kind of a thing, leads, that kind of a thing. And it becomes a good, strong community to support everyone. And it's not competition, it's support.
That's the most important thing. It's not competition. It's a very community supported for the art form itself. There's a lot of people that are in it because they are very artistic, and cartooning and comic strips are just one facet of their life. Some of them are professional painters, book illustrators, and other types of things. And so when I talk to even students nowadays, I tell them the more skill sets that you have, the better employability you will have in the future. If you are in a journalism program, let's say, and you are dealing with communications, the more levels of communication you can at least experience, whether it be photography as well as reporting or cartooning or illustrating, you become more beneficial for a potential employer. And again, I think nowadays most students and most people in the employment area will realize that they're not going to stay at a job for 40 years like their parents or their grandparents did. They have to be their own business model the day they graduate.
And you can take that with you too. So if all of a sudden you're let go by someone, you still have that skill and you still have that business, that model that you can take with you.
Or you can have a side business, a side part-time business like what I'm probably getting myself into, where you can freelance and you can sell things, whether it be stories or cartoons or illustrations. just to keep, the skin in the game, so to speak.
So tell us a little bit about what you've been working on.
Well, basically what I've been working on is a business plan where I have basically started to go state by state to figure out through press associations and chains and whatnot, the needs of small newspapers, of whether or not they would use or like to have editorial cartoons on their pages and whatnot. And so I'm creating a good database from the newspaper standpoint. I've also, since I get a lot of trade magazines and trade publications, I'm building up a database of potential clients for illustrative work, whether it be in the legal or technical business publications. So basically what I'm going to be doing is rolling out a bunch of promotional flyers and information in order to get my name out there.
And you find that association that you recently joined is being helpful in that regard as well?
Oh yeah, they're very supportive and whatnot from that standpoint. Again, that's another avenue of self-promotion, which is sort of new for me in this area. I have a page on their site where I post to on a daily or weekly basis, depending upon how busy I am. But that helps, is the getting out the context of other people in the industry, and especially finding potential art directors or somebody else that would be a potential client. Mm-hmm. It's really cultivating name recognition and some business.
Is there anything, final word, that you'd want to give to someone who's either a young person trying to figure out how they're going to make money at being a cartoonist or an editorial drafter or anything along those lines?
Well, it's interesting because, number one, you should do what you like to do. And if the audience is only one person, yourself, and you're satisfied, that's a real value going on through your life. Because I found that breaking up a day in cartooning really is a good stress release for at least me and other people. The other thing is that you need to focus in on the fact that this may open up a door, but it may be not the door that you were thinking of.
Talk about that.
I just finished the biography of Terry Gilliam, who was the animator for Monty Python. And he always was a cartoonist like me, just doodling and whatnot in high school and in college and whatnot. But he was interested in joining a comic magazine company like Mad or somebody else like that. And he got himself through the door with his artwork, but he didn't really publish any artwork. He immediately became a manager and an editor and a storyboard layout person. And that sort of followed him throughout his career, that the cartooning aspect of it got his foot into the door to meet people. And that met people in Britain, where they were doing this new show called Monty Python. And he was going to be hired more towards a technical aspect, but then they decided, well, we need some filler between the skits. So he developed his own animation style as a break between the skits. So when he first started cartooning, he may have wanted to be a cartoonist, but it really led a path to becoming a famous movie director more than anything else. So I always tell people that go with something that you like to do. Try to open up as many doors as possible and get as much context as possible, because you never know what your path is going to go.
That's really a good word to end with, Paul, and I just really want to thank you. And it's really been great watching your growth and development over the years. And it's funny thinking about how it started there in the newsroom at Student Services at the Eastern Illinois University. Wish you the best of luck, and know that if people want to reach out to you, we're going to provide information for them on how to contact you.
My pleasure, Tom.
Thanks again.
Thanks.